All right, North Dakota State quarterback Trey Lance has officially declared for the 2021 NFL Draft as a redshirt sophomore. And again, we talked about it last week. Only one game this season against Central Arkansas. A lot of people on Twitter want to overreact to that one game where he threw 2 touchdowns, but also his first interception of his career. And look at the flaws. I'm not going to do that. I want to talk to you today about what Trey Lance does that is really, really good and why I think he should be a top 5 player and a top 10 pick for the 2021 class. I mean, let's just start with the dominance at that level. Everyone wants to knock the FCS level that the Bison play on, but they've dominated that competition. And that's what stands out to me. You can only play who's on your schedule. What I want to see is how good you are against that level of competition. Trey Lance was by far the best player on the field in every one of those games. And let's not completely disrespect the FCS. There's some very good draft prospects at that level of play. There's some very good coaching at that level of play. Now, what excites me on the field about Trey Lance, it is the dual threat nature. We saw that last year, the 2019 tape, 28 touchdowns passing, and then he adds 14 on the ground. So very, very dynamic with the ball in his hands, which is why I've compared him to Deshaun Watson as a draft prospect. He's not the biggest guy, and he doesn't have the world's strongest arm, but the functional athleticism is really, really good. And we see that when he has to scramble, when he has to pull down the run on design runs, that opportunity will be there for his NFL team. So when you're a head coach looking at what type of quarterback do I want, I think Trey Lance might be more intriguing than a player like Justin Fields at Ohio State, who, albeit was a little banged up last year, and I know there's reports he's lost weight, maybe he's in a little better shape. Trey Lance is a better mover right now than Justin Fields, and I think might actually have a little bit of a stronger arm as well. Now, there will always be issues about making that jump from FCS to the NFL. That's what we worry about. Carson Wentz did a pretty good job early on. He has also struggled now because I think we haven't seen him continue to develop, and we haven't seen the Philadelphia Eagles put a great offensive system around him. We saw Josh Allen go from Wyoming to the NFL, where he struggled a little bit early and is now playing very, very well. So there are examples of guys who come from a smaller school or lesser competition, and they're able to come into the NFL, especially as young players like Josh Allen was, and make a big impact. I don't personally see this like a Mitchell Trubisky type situation where guy starts for 1 year, we overrate the hype a little bit, and he gets overdrafted. Now, that could be the case, but my recommendation for an NFL team would be that Trey Lance is probably a sit and start player. Now, maybe not an entire rookie year. Getting a Patrick Mahomes, Alex Smith situation is really rare in today's NFL, or an Aaron Rodgers, Brett Favre situation. Those are really the only two that stand out in the last 15 years. So I look at teams, the Pittsburgh Steelers. If they have an opportunity to move up in the draft and get Trey Lance, let him sit behind Big Ben. The Indianapolis Colts, similar deal. If you have a chance to move up, you could let him sit behind maybe a returning Phillip Rivers for a year. There are going to be other teams. The Chicago Bears, they have a big need at quarterback. The Washington football team just benched Dwayne Haskins. And those go outside the obvious ones. The New York Jets could be looking for a new quarterback. The Jacksonville Jaguars could be looking to upgrade from Gardner Minshew. So there will be no limited options available for Trey Lance when we talk about the NFL draft. A lot of teams are going to be interested. The good news for him declaring now, he gets to actually start working toward that goal of training for a combine, training for a pro day. I know I'm excited. He's one of my favorite players in college football. It's going to be a lot of fun to see where he lands at the next level.